So you want to catch fish at a spot that you've never fished before? Well, this is the video for you. I'm going to break down a very popular river and show you how I go about finding my spots. Today we're fishing the beautiful Hawkesbury River. Stay tuned to see what techniques we use and how we go about finding spots that potentially hold fish. So what are we here to target today? Today we're here to target some brim, and the expected bycatch today is mulloway, flathead, or even estuary perch if we're lucky. At the end of the video, I'm going to break down what I did to find the specific spots that we fished today. Before we get started, let me know in the comments what you do to find a new spot. So I've got the bait junkie wave minnow rigged onto a 1/16 head. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cast it right up against the edge. We're sitting in about 15 to 20 feet of water, so it's quite deep. I'm not sure how deep it is right up against the rocks, but we're going to try this jig head, and if it doesn't work, we're going to go a bit heavier. So what I like doing is I like working the soft plastic into any crevice, any little gap. Yes, just like that. Just like that. That's my second cast. Let's go. Let's go. Still early in the day, and we've just found ourselves our first brim, and it's a pretty decent brim too. Very unexpected start to the morning. 34 centimeter fish, good healthy brim. We got it off the edge on a soft plastic. Wave minnow does the trick. So as you guys saw, that was my second cast, and we got ourselves a brim out of that, a 34 centimeter brim, by just casting that soft plastic hard up against the edge, letting it sink all the way down to the bottom, and that fish couldn't resist it. Brim this time of year tend to sit a bit deeper in the water column, so that's why we've got a 1/16 head on, and we're letting it sink all the way down to the bottom. So it's the same thing we've done here. We'll let it get all the way down to the bottom, and we'll just start working it. And because we've got a wave minnow, what we can do is we can slow roll it as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to cast it right behind that rock. You see, right up, right hard up. You want that accuracy to be on point. We just got to make sure we don't get snagged as well. So I'm pretty sure there should be some fish sitting behind there. As we got a run in tide, so the tide's running in from my left. And sometimes you see the bait fish that they like to take shelter on the opposite side of the tide. So that's why I'll cast there. And the predatory fish, they'll take it as a bit of an ambush point. So what I do when I get to a new spot is I just suss out the area, just have a look at your surroundings, see what you're casting at, see if there's any bait around. It's always a good indication when you see some bait on the surface or on your sounder. That's if you're on a boat or kayak. If you see some bait around, then it's a good indication that there could be some predatory fish around. Because as they say, find the bait, find the fish, and that's what we're doing. We're looking for bait, put ourselves in the best position to catch some fish. So we're just sitting in about 15 feet deep of water. We've thrown a blade out. This is our first time properly blading in the deep. And I'm going to see if I can work it out today. Work out how to fish the deep. So we're just going to do some slow lifts. We're going to cast it out. We're going to let it sink to the bottom and just slowly lift that lure until we can find some fish. What I'll be looking out for is some bait on the sounder and maybe some broken ground, some rocky grounds. Just something that's a bit different that catches the eye. Looks like we've got something, and it feels like a flathead. Yep. It's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what we don't want. Off you go, little flatty. So what we're going to do with this blade now is we're going to cast right up to the edge. Not hard up, but close where it gets a bit shallower. We're sitting in about between 15 and 20 feet of water, so I'm guessing it's going to be much shallower where I've just casted. And hopefully we can find some brim and not some flathead. But as expected, and like I said, you will get some bycatch of flathead while you're chasing brim, especially in the deep. A bit of bait showing up on the sounder where we're at now, so let's hope we've come to a good spot for brim. Wow, that sounder is absolutely loaded with bait. Yes, that sounder's loaded with bait. And please tell me that's our first brim. It is, but it's just a small one. But it's a good sign. Straight back in. So what I've done now is I've moved away from the edges. I'm still blading. I just got myself a fish while I had the camera on charge, and I think I've worked myself out a bit of a technique. So what I'm doing is I'm just sitting in about maybe 2 or 3 feet of water, and I'm casting into the current and letting it work back towards me. I've got the channel there to the left, and we've got some shells down the bottom here that I keep hooking onto my lure, and it seems like the brim are feeding on them. So yeah, just got a 29 centimeter brim. Let's see if we can get some more around here. Might be a good idea to mark this spot. I'll just get a visual mark so I know where I am, just in case I want to come and fish it tomorrow. I keep getting those shells on the hooks. I guarantee you I've got some on now. Look at that, both hooks. These little shells, they've got some sort of food inside them for the brim. I don't know what these shells are called, but I don't know if you guys can see that. Open it up and it's got some sort of... I don't want to taste it. Here you go. Check it out. Use that as burley. Like I said earlier, one of the bycatches you're expected to catch while chasing brim is estuary perch. There you go. Estuary perch on a blade. It's a first for me. I'm sure it won't be the last. And generally where you find one estuary perch, there should be more, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get another one. We're not really targeting them, but if we get one, so be it. A fish is a fish at this stage. There we go. I think that's another one. Yeah, it is. I was just saying, where you catch one, usually they're in schools, so it's got to be an EP. Yeah, it's acting exactly how the other one was acting. Little bucket mouth. Second EP for the trip. So this one's 37. Get that net out of our way. That's a fish. Is it a brim? Yes, it is. Target species acquired on the blade. I think that's the biggest brim of the day on the blade. There we go. That's brim number 4 of the day on a blade. Very happy with this one. Here's 4 things we did to find the fish today. I'm sure you and I will both agree on the last one. First things first, we identified what sort of area and what sort of conditions we're fishing today. The Hawkesbury River is known for its edges and its deeper water. The current was running quite hard today, but we did still manage to find a few fish. So the second thing we did is we picked a lure that would match the conditions that we're fishing. We ended up going with a blade and a soft plastic, only 2 lures for the whole day, and we ended up with more than 4 fish. As you guys saw, I did stick with the blade for most of the day, and it did do the damage on a fair few fish today. I had the wave minnow rigged up on a 1/16 jig head just so I can work it off the edges, and it did get us our first fish. Number 3, we stuck to the areas until we determined if there was or wasn't fish. So we worked it quite hard with each lure, and if we didn't get a bite within the first 20 minutes, then I moved on to the next spot. So I really picked apart each area and managed to find a few fish. Number 4, and this one I guarantee you we're all going to agree on, we found the bait. Finding the bait was really crucial today. So a couple of times I saw bait splashing on the surface or even saw it on the sounder, and it was a matter of just casting directly at the bait, and that's where the fish was sitting and holding up directly underneath the bait. If you want to see what I keep in my tackle box, stick around, because in this next video I go in depth about what lures I use and what I take on a land-based session. I'll see you there.